Alright lads, so continuing on the showcasing for the 3 new resurrectable characters. Yesterday we did try out Kenpachi and also Ichigo. Recommend let's check them out. Today though, we're here to look at Captain Aizen himself. In this case with his new Fierce Battle Resurrection. So between us, I honestly thought this was the coolest character of the 3. He was definitely my favorite of the 3 when they first initially released at the start of 2020. And you know, it was for many reasons. He was a good Technique character. At the time, Technique didn't have that many good characters. And while he wasn't the best character in the game, he was just really cool. I said it already in both resurrectable videos that Soul Society arc as a whole was kind of rushed past, to say the least. We had a lot more focus on Karakura Town. And of course, also 1000 Year Blood War. Even Calm Fjord, I feel like got better spotlight. Soul Society, at least in this game, besides the random banners that we get every now and then, consisted of just the original characters that were in the game from the start. And in this case, we had a Captain Aizen, but we never had Captain Aizen with the glasses. And this is really cool as a 5-star. His model looks great. I still think he looks really cool to this day. And of course, one of the better things about his character is that he can transform. And the way he transforms literally consists of him taking off his glasses and pushing back his hair. Iconic. Iconic is the best to describe this character. With that said though, Aizen himself is a Technique Sorobit captain with the Hollow Kill ability. At the time of his release, we kept getting quite a few Technique Hollow Killers, weirdly enough, I'm not sure why. But when it comes to his soul trait, originally it was a 12% recharge soul trait. Now it's that with the addition of being able to do 16% more damage at full stamina. This makes sense for himself since its SA2 does provide a barrier, but it's also a really good soul trait. One of the best in the Technique attribute. And given that he is a premium character, maybe you have the character 5-5 like myself. If you do, it might be worth investing into him to make him a really good link. As always, you can use the special move trial quest to potentially get him 5-5 and potentially make a very powerful link for your better Technique characters. Like, of course, Quincy, Ichigo, and Ichibei, for example. With that said, though, when it comes to the skills that he did pick up, unfortunately, since premium characters like this are capped at 8 skills, the character already had 8 skills, he only picked up an additional 20% Berserker. So very similar to Ichigo in the same banner with his resurrection, he got a 36% damage increase. It's a safe resurrection, it's nothing crazy, but he does hit a tad bit harder. With that said, though, let's try out the character. Alright then, so jump into some single player IT, quickly demonstrating the character attacks. Naturally, he's a ranged character. First 2 hits consist of some type of attack. I'm not sure what's going on. And then the last 2 are just swings from his, Zanpakuto Tom. His SA1 is some type of Kilo attack. Don't question me. I don't know the name of it. Call me a fake fan. SA2, of course, is a barrier. At the time, he was potentially the worst of the 3, but I always had like a sweet spot for him. I'm not sure why. I think it was because he was a Technique character, but he was a safe one at that. Like this SA1, at the time, every character's damage output was very similar, right? Nowadays, there's a big difference on what characters' damage they can do because everyone's getting these different damage multipliers. But back then, the highest you would get is a 40% Berserker. So there was a bigger focus on the character's stream attacks. And traditionally, characters with barrier SA2s, longer cooldown SA2s, a pushback AoE SA1, range collision. It wasn't the most popular kit. But I still thought he was relatively fun. He was a safe character too with the barrier. And that's why for a while, he was actually my go-to character when it came to farming Inheritance Zone. At the time, Inheritance Zone, just started to get the +5 links or potion characters. At the time, it was also Calm Fjord Kenpachi, a terrible character playing co-op IZ. I didn't own the character, nor did I actually want him, and instead I opted to use characters like this because I just thought they were significantly more fun and also safe. With the barrier, you can see that even with a little lag spike, and we did get hit by that quite annoying enemy, we were still able to keep ourselves at full stamina. But that SA1 still does a respectable amount of damage. Like, we have no status elements, but it does get all its hits off, to be fair. I feel like this was one of the first better range collision attacks. There were definitely worse variations of this that would more so push enemies back and have a lot of wasted damage. But I think Aizen was one of the few good ones. But that SA3 still looks great. And of course, we haven't demonstrated that one of the cooler things about him is that he actually can transform. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's get a good position. And let's take off our glasses. Still a really cool soul bomber. Look at that. Our hair is slicked back. Still, as of right now, the only playable Captain Aizen that's actually somewhat good, right? And with that, of course, our visuals change. SA1 still looks very similar. SA3 is still, again, somewhat very similar. The only difference here is that the colors start to change. But I feel like you notice a bigger difference in the barrier. It looks a lot more cool this way. Of course, with the transformation itself, it does reset all our strong attacks and also give us more damage on our strong attacks. So let's go ahead and use our SA1. And you can see there, it instantly put down Tsukishima. But I was going to say I wouldn't mind a new Captain Aizen, whether it's one with the glasses or without the glasses, like the transformation one. But maybe that's a bit too much to ask for as of right now, given that, we finally just got a Wakumundo Aizen after how many years, right? It was our first playable one, the previous one being a Frenzy character. And at the same time, we're still waiting and hoping for a Monster Aizen. So I'd rather that character get done first than a, Captain Aizen. But I wouldn't mind both. But at least right now we have this Captain Aizen to play with if you actually want that. If you want to play with a Monster Aizen, I mean, you can't really do that, can we? You technically can, but basically you can't. This is still bearable. It's still bearable. Monster Aizen, though, man, that character is terrible. It's terrible. And technically, it's not even Monster Aizen. It's only in the Soul Bomb. But there we go. That felt a lot better. Unfortunately, had some wasted strong attacks in room number 3. But it's still relatively fast for a quite, character that was heavily criticized upon release, I will say. 39-second play time. It's respectable. He's a character definitely worth taking out if you are an Aizen fan. You can have some fun with him. But since we are here, let's demonstrate the character in single player IZ, the quest that I was actively playing when this character was out. I'm going to go ahead and use my Soul Bomb here. I feel like this can be a lot better. Because the hope here is that we can potentially take advantage of our strong attacks returning. Because remember, once the transformation does wear off, we also do get our strong attacks back once more, right? But I feel like we're going to clear the quest too fast. Maybe not actually, since we just got an extra stage. We'll see how it does go. Let's go ahead, use our SA3. Push back with the 1. As always, with range collision attacks like that, it's always good to know wherever the spawns are so you can take advantage of the range collision attack. And then I guess we can finish up with the SA2, finishing the quest before we could even de-transform. With that, though, 27-second cooldown, probably one of the fastest you can get for characters like this. So yeah, over 4 years later, I still feel like he's a really cool character. Would love for a remake of him, but I'm not in a rush to get a remake since I still more so want a Monster Aizen first. But he was definitely my favorite of the 3. I just feel like he was a really cool looking character, right? The whole idea of him just taking off his glasses, and that's his transformation. He was one of my go-to farmers for the time, despite him not being a farmer. I did use him quite a bit in IZ, and his barriers did provide some extra support, keeping my teammates alive, those that I was carrying. His resurrection, as already mentioned, just like Kenpachi and also Ichigo, unfortunately was hurt and capped given their current skills. Would have been significantly more hype had he picked up Havoc or an extra skill, but it's a very safe resurrection to say the least, right? Just overall more damage. Not a bad one, just a safe one. At the very least, though, he is a really powerful soul trait, that being recharge and full stamina. Can definitely make a use out of that, and he definitely will be one of my go-to links since I do have him with 500 extra SP. In fact, if I was to filter by technique and sort by spiritual pressure, it appears that this Aizen's actually my best link in my entire box for my technique characters. So, if anything, there's one good thing about his resurrection. He's a really good link. In this case, offering me 625 SP. So to me, that's a pretty good resurrection. So yeah, hope you liked and enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of this character in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.